I think we have a book cover. Hi everyone, my name is Kelly. I'm a science fiction and fantasy writer. In this video, I'm gonna give an update on my two upcoming novels. One I hope to trad pub, and the other I hope to self-publish. So we're gonna talk about the self-published book first, because I talked about the trad pub book first in my last video. And it would be really great if you guys could let me know if you're more interested in self-publishing or traditional publishing. That way I can kind of like format these videos so they're more of interest to you. And before we get into this self-published book and my updates, I want to give a quick thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative. If you're interested in learning crocheting, quilting, knitting, sewing, baking, Craftsy is your place to go. But also they offer writing classes, and obviously that's something I am super interested in. I'm always ready to learn craft. I don't think I'll ever stop wanting to learn more craft. I took their Fiction 101 Write a Novel class taught by Tiffany D. Jackson, who is actually a New York Times bestseller for her young adult books. One lesson that I was particularly interested in is her dialogue class. I think that's something I struggled the most with writing, to be honest. I also was really interested in some of the other classes they were offering related to health and fitness. One of them was a stress management class. Another one was how to improve your sleep schedule. Those two things are really, really important to me, especially because I'm not doing writing full-time or YouTube full-time. I work a 9-to-5 corporate girly job, so balancing between these different activities can give me a lot of stress, and also I need my sleep to do all of these really well. So those were classes that I really enjoyed as well. If you're interested in checking them out, please use my link down below, or you can scan this QR code. The first 1,000 people watching this video will get a full year of premium membership for only $1.49. This offer is only valid to new members only, so be sure to check them out. And thank you again, Craftsy, for sponsoring today's video. So many updates for the self-published book. Where do I even begin? I know in my last video, I said that I wasn't going to work on the indie books anymore because I was focused on the fantasy. So I have the indie book that is a secret genre, and I have the fantasy book that I plan to query for the traditional publishing route. I have not actually edited or worked on this book in particular, but I did everything else kind of, and I think that's fine because as long as I'm only in one manuscript at a time, that works better for my brain. So wow, a lot of things did happen with the indie book. For one, as I said, so my cover designer did respond to me, and I was ecstatic. I actually thought I was gonna get ghosted, to be honest, just because I didn't hear from her for over a week, and I just thought, like, you know, she's not checking Instagram, or I'm a no-name author, but she did respond to me. And okay, so I put a budget up in the last video, and I knew it was under the budget, even though I did say the actual, okay, whatever, her cost is $1,500 plus $255 for licensing the ebook. And in my last video, I did say I think it's gonna be $1,500, but still I budgeted $1,000. I think we are going forward with it because I really like this artist, and I'm treating it just like as a marketing thing. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, let's say I got a cover for like $500 and I spent $1,000 on marketing, and that can include a bunch of stuff like sending PR boxes, getting ads, signing up for book tours. So I think we're going to move forward. I haven't responded yet just because I want to figure out the questions I want to ask. For example, do I get commercial rights? She told me that she could give me social media rights. I don't quite know what that is. And print rights, that's obviously for, I think, printing the book. But also I want the text of, I don't know if she'll give me the individual assets. I don't think so, but these are things I want to ask. And also I won't have the final page count for a long time. So I just want to make sure with her that I'm able to still work with her towards me actually publishing the book, to see if she can update the spine or maybe the blurb, but I have the blurb written already. So that's like the biggest update for the indie book that I want to self-publish. But when she responded to me, I started feeling like I need to get my shit together because this is going to be real. So I started plotting the second book in this series. I'm planning for this series to be an interconnected standalone series, and I actually did create an outline yesterday. I am not an outliner. I have never been an outliner, so this is new for me. If I write book 2 of this series, this will be the 5th book I've written to completion, and my first time writing an outline before I start writing. Usually I kind of outline as I draft, but I'm nervous. Like, I don't want to. I know how hard it is for me to, that's why revisions always take me so long, because I have always just pants the shit out of my books in the first drafts, and it takes me a long time to work on it. So yeah, this one, the revision process pretty painless because I had this book tightly plotted as I was writing, because every time I write a new book, I just get better and better at plotting and outlining. So this time I'm full steam. I have a beat sheet with different, how do I explain this? Because I'm not really saying what this genre is right now, but this particular genre has its particular beat sheet. And so I have it outlined by scenes right now. And the issue with book 2 is that I don't know the first half of Act 2. The first half of Act 2 is always the hardest for me. It's always been the hardest for me since I was young. Yeah, we'll have to figure out some sort of plot. I have a plot, but yeah, so that's in progress. And also, I did kind of loosely plot books 3 and 4. I have an overall sense of what they're going to be. Obviously, it's not in detail, but for this genre, I think I have what I need to feel safe or feel secure that I can actually write a book with these characters and with the plot. So I did that as well. So I did a lot of work for the series, not actual work in the manuscript itself, but the general work. And something that I didn't talk about in my last video when it comes to expenses is actually my LLC and my company. So if you guys don't know, I run an editorial business. I do a bunch of editing. I kind of stopped it-ish. We'll talk about this later, but I already have an LLC. So in that last video, I didn't talk about the annual fee that it takes to run this business. I didn't talk about my domain name that I already have for my business. And I also have a domain name for my website. So there are actually more costs than what I listed out, but I didn't really put that in to last week's budget because I'm already paying for that right now. So I didn't think I needed to include it. But anyway, just as an FYI, I have 2 domain names. One I actually run through Wix, so I pay Wix like an annual fee, and I have another domain name that I run myself and I host it on GitHub. Anyway, my editorial services and my name, these are 2 different sites, and I'll have to think about, the other thing, I'm going to publish this under a pen name. So that's kind of why I haven't really announced the genre and I haven't really done too much. I plan on starting a newsletter too, and I think I'm gonna use Mailer Night or something. I prefer like a mailing list like that over Substack, or I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Until I announce the genre and my pen name, I'm gonna keep it kind of close to me. Obviously, I'm gonna tell you guys the pen name. I think that's fine for me. I don't really care about that, and I think it's better because you guys have been following me for so long. The pen name is really just to differentiate from my Kelly Tai spec stuff. As you know, as I said in the beginning, I introduced myself as a science fiction and fantasy writer, and this is not science fiction and fantasy. And also, I want to use the pen name for self-publishing and my real name for trying to query and stuff like that. So that's mostly the reason why I want to distinguish the 2. Any other updates for this one? I did so much. Let me look at my notes. I don't have any notes. What did I do this? Yeah, not much. I'm really excited about the cover designer. I'm really excited that I can't believe this is happening. Oh, maybe I did want to touch on a small thing really quickly. My goal for the self-published book is to earn the money back. I want to break even, and I just want to acknowledge the fact that I do have kind of a maybe pre-built audience here, so I don't want to pretend that I don't, but I'm still really worried that I won't break even. Anyway, I just wanted to say that in case anyone was thinking that I thought I was on the same page as someone with no social media. Of course, that's not true. But yeah, I don't really think YouTube is gonna sell my books, if I'm being totally honest. I think what it can do is actually can be a really great word of mouth, but I don't think it will actually sell I don't think my audience will sell my books because my audience are other writers. They're not the ideal audience for this genre. Maybe some of you are, but not, I don't think everyone is. So anyway, just want to put that out there. Okay, that's enough about the indie book. Let's talk about my path to querying. So in the last video, I said I wanted to send this out to beta readers by April, June. That is totally not happening. I kind of figured out and replanned my schedule because I don't know how to explain this. So for one thing, this month, I'm actually taking on another editorial client. I know I said it was kind of on pause indefinitely, but this indie author, I work with him for all his books and he's award nominated, or he might even be a winner. I'll need to check on that. And I told him that I will always work on his books. I'm invested in his books. So I'm working with him at the end of the month. It's a 90K manuscript. I don't want to be doing a million things at once and confusing my brain. So I think that would take me pretty much either up until March or mid-March. And during that time, I hope to take a step back from the young adult fantasy, which is the book I want to traditionally publish. I'm also going to LA next Thursday. Yeah, there's a lot of life stuff that's happening. And before I leave next Thursday, I would like to do all my line level edits done for the chapters I'm working on. And one thing that I found out about myself is that I am a sculptor. That's my writing process. I was watching a lot of heart breathings by Sarah Cannon, and one of her videos was like, what kind of writer are you? And I found every time I try to explain in these videos to my friends, I always feel like no one knows what I'm talking about. But the way she explained it, I was like, that's me. I'm a sculptor. And what that means is that I work on chapters at a time, or mostly the key is that I do multiple passes on my books. Some writers who are sculptors, they do one pass just on dialogue, they do one pass just on description. I don't compartmentalize it like that so much, like those elements. But for me, my first pass is usually a check to make sure the story beats are correct. So I check that off. And then my second pass, or actually I guess my first pass in revisions is making sure that I don't have to write any new scenes. So that's actually the first pass. And then the second pass is to make sure the structure of the story is correct. And then the third pass is what I'm doing right now, is the line level editing pass. And I think line level editing is maybe too strong of a word still. I'm just trying to make it readable, because in my first pass, the draft is really messy. In the second pass, I'm checking for the story elements to make sure that I have a line that they need to go to the dungeon, and I have, some sort of description. I'll be like placeholder description, or I'll write something really brief. And then the third pass, what I'm doing is going back and actually making it readable. So that's what I mean by a light level edit, which I think is just a normal person way of writing. And I'm just really slow at the actual line level writing. Each line, I have to think for 5 minutes, because each line has to reflect the world. It has to make sense with the lore of the story, the characterization. So it's just taking me a really long time. And the chapters I'm currently working on are 11 to 16. I did 11 in that last vlog, or my last video. I said I did 11. I finished up 12 yesterday. 12 was so hard. 12 is a tough chapter. I'll definitely need eyes on chapter 12. And I'm currently working on 13. Ooh. It's really slow. And the thing is, I can't work on this. I can't just sit there and work on it, because I use 200% of my brain power to think, because every line takes so much time, so much attention, and I feel like I need stamina. My brain is working on 200%. It's like you have a million tabs open, your laptop's making those weird sounds. That's my brain on fire. Whenever I'm working on this book, it's just really hard. It's just really, really hard. And it makes me not want to work on a fantasy next. But anyway, that's another topic. One thing that I did want to say though, which was really, really funny, I made an Instagram story. Oh my God. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's Kelly is Writing, and I posted this story. Oh man, disappeared. But how much sad boy interiority is too much, because my main character is just so sad. He's just reflecting on how sad he is and how horrible his situation is, and he's horrible. He's a monster. He's a beast, and I thought it was getting too much. Like, I was reading it through and I thought it was getting too much. I've always thought about this too. It just sounds a little, sometimes it sounds melodramatic. I'm like, you know, shut up. It's part of his character. So I'm trying to figure out the balance between reiterating to the readers like a million times, like his sad interior, whatever. I posted that story and a lot of you guys seem to really think that there's no limit to how much sad boy interiority I can have in my books. So I thought it was funny. Someone said, as someone writing a sad boy, the limit does not exist. Someone also said, the limit does not exist. And then one of my friends said, never enough. They gotta suffer for their privileges. I thought that was really, really funny. That kind of made me laugh. So timeline of the querying. I actually think now I'm gonna query October to November. I know they say don't query during like the holidays. Like if I'm gonna query there, like if someone's open, I'm gonna query during the holidays. I don't really care about that too much. I don't want to drag this out longer than it has to, but I also want to make sure the book is in its best state. And it's, there's another update I wanted to say. I just remembered. But anyway, timeline first. Ideally, I want to query like end of October and early November now. And I don't think I'm going to finish this draft until the summer, I think. Just because I think this book is going to be close to 90,000 now, or 95K. Because we are in chapter 13. And obviously I'm still doing like the polishing and the light line level edits, but we are at almost 45K now. I'm just pulling up my document. That's a little concerning because by the time I fix all the chapters, like fix 13, 14, 15, 16, I'm pretty sure, there's no way I'm already at 44.6. There's no way that the midpoint will end at 45K. I think the midpoint will be closer to 50K now. Yeah, and I want this book to be the best it can be. I worked on my query and my synopsis. For the query, like, it's fine. The query is fine. The only thing I changed was my bio. Should I read it out loud? I will read it out loud. My friend is like, you must brag about yourself. What did I write? So I wrote, born to Chinese Taiwanese immigrants, I am an American Canadian speculative fiction writer and a 2024 CSFA Award nominated poet. My work has appeared in Shoreline of Affinity, Utopia, Heartline Spec, Spec Bovers, Solar Punk Magazine, Year's Best Canadian Fantasy and Science Fiction, Volume 2, and many more. I am a Tin House alum, and this manuscript has been workshopped by Aiden Thomas and Maggie Seevater. In my free time, I run a writing-focused YouTube channel with 8,000 subscribers. I don't know why I'm speaking like this. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time and your consideration. That's the only thing I really updated because my friend says you must brag about yourself. So I'm trying my best to brag about myself. The credentials. Yeah, I mean, on paper, I don't know. I can't. I'm nervous. I worked on my synopsis. It was freaking horrible. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I sent it to my husband to read. Actually, he has heard me talk about this book. He has like the pieces, but I've never explained it to him, the book and the plot, like beginning to end. So he found out through reading the synopsis and he was really confused. And I hated that. I thought it wasn't that confusing because I submitted the synopsis to Tin House and I got into Tin House. So I was thinking to myself that the synopsis was not that confusing, and during my workshop, no one really talked to me about my synopsis. So I thought it was fine, but then he was really confused. So I was scared. He needs to read it again. I made updates to it. But yeah, I do not like writing that. I did not like it. I did not enjoy a single bit of it. And I think the reason why I was so bad at writing the synopsis was because you only have one page single space to tell your whole story. And I think I was omitting too many details or something. God, I don't know. Maybe I can send it to betas August, September. Make implements to their biggest feedback, the biggest changes they're requesting. Make those, query, make the smaller changes throughout. Who knows? I'm so scared. I'm so scared I'm going to fail at both of these, which is totally possible. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Or no? I don't know. My camera's overheating. Give me a second. Okay, I hope it's okay now. I don't have too much more to say actually. I did update my website, so I totally changed my author website, the Kelly Tai one. And I did it mostly because agents, I was looking at their query tracker form thing, and a lot of them had, put in your website. So I updated that for querying, and I like it a lot more now. I used to have 2 different tabs, like 2 bars at the... It's infinite scrolling now, that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm currently reading, because I always like to talk about what I'm reading, Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is a small town cowboy romance. I love this cover. I think that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for making it. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, check out Craftsy. Link is down below. Here's the QR code again. And I will see you in my next video when I come back from LA. Bye.